Hi, Saksham here, and this is the detailed coverage of WWDC 2021, or as I like to say, WWDC. And for those who are unfamiliar, it's Apple's developer conference, mainly focused on software such as iOS, macOS, tvOS, and all that stuff. And very rarely, like less than 1% of a chance, we get to see hardware such as the Mac Pro last time, iMac Pro before, and even before that, the Mac Pro 2013. But unfortunately, this time there was no hardware, nothing like that. And I know many people, especially leakers, were very disappointed, but you can't really complain. Those are rumors that you get to see a MacBook, something like that. But still, leaving all that aside, there's still lots to talk about. So let's just take a deeper dive, or a straight dive, the way Greg did on stage, into iOS 15. Starting off with iOS 15 or something, you will notice this in iPadOS and even macOS. The biggest theme, I would say, of this event was continuity, or how all these devices work together and stuff. So we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about FaceTime. FaceTime finally got an update, and something like Zoom. Now you can actually schedule or even create a Zoom meeting and all your friends can hop on. You can set a time. This time the meeting starts, everyone come on. Or also something big is that they don't need to have an iPhone or a Mac. They can be on Windows or an Android phone, it will just work. So that's pretty cool, just the way how Zoom works. I think I will just call it Apple Zoom or something like that. Still under FaceTime, if you're interested in spatial audio, now that's coming to FaceTime. So wherever you are on the screen, or the way whoever you're talking to is placed on the screen, the audio is sort of going to come from that side. So you're more immersed, or you're more into the call, and it feels more face-to-face. If we specifically look at FaceTime video, we got a few upgrades, such as now you can actually enable portrait mode, or I would call this fake portrait mode. It's a softer portrait mode, so your background is blurred, you have a nice bokeh and stuff. I've seen people use it and it turns out it's working pretty well. But along with that, now you also have 3 audio modes. One is auto, so the normal audio mode, the way someone hears your audio. Other one is called wide spectrum, so the mic will pick up every single thing. And lastly, a mode which will cancel out every single audio that's around you or behind you, just making your voice much clearer.
I wish I could be there.
Me too. Let me fix this. Better, right?
Yeah.
That's what she wanted for her birthday.
Someone who's on group FaceTime or use FaceTime a lot with multiple people, something that you can do is enable grid mode. And what that lets you do is put everyone in a grid format so you can see everyone, and with visual clues, visual feedback, you will know who is talking. Now, whether you are on group FaceTime or not on group FaceTime, something you can do is share. It's called share play, and that will let you share music. So let's just say as a group FaceTime, everyone wants to hear some sort of music. So I can open the app, load in music, and now everyone on the group can pause, seek, and even skip the song. If I have other musics in the queue, they can actually pick the music from there, change the whole track, super easy. Now at the same time, what you can also do is screen share. Maybe you want to help someone with some tech issue, or you just want to look at someone's screen, maybe they're doing something, or in other words, maybe people want to scroll on TikTok on group FaceTime. You can just share your phone screen. It will be on group FaceTime, everyone can see. It's much easier. You don't need a third-party app. It's all built into the FaceTime app. And lastly, you can even watch movies. Now, this works throughout the whole ecosystem. So iOS, so iPad, iPhone, and macOS. But something you can also do is, let's just say you're on a group FaceTime call, you're watching a movie, you can transfer that movie to the Apple TV, and that way the movie can be running on the TV while you have the call, or do whatever you want on your phone. While we're on the topic of screen sharing with tvOS, iOS, something now you can do is actually AirPlay to your Mac. So if you're a bit confused, what do you mean AirPlay to the Mac? So right now, let's just say I take my phone and I want to screen mirror or share something that I'm watching, and I want to AirPlay to another device. Now that device has to be an Apple TV or any other brand that supports Apple TV, or the whole ecosystem that will let me AirPlay. And I can never AirPlay to my Mac, but I can AirPlay my Mac screen to something else. Now with iOS 15, and when your Mac is also upgraded to the latest Mac OS, you can just AirPlay to your Mac screen, use that screen as a display. So I think they should have been there before, but it's pretty neat. Now let's talk about messages. In particular, photos, or how we send and receive photos in a text message, iMessage, or even iMessage group chat. Now, don't you get annoyed when, let's say, someone shares a photo, now you love the picture, but they send you so many that you have to scroll and just honestly fills up your whole screen. Now what will happen is it will come in a grid view or easy to view screen. So now when they send pictures, it's all together in a cluster and you can just look at them without occupying or taking up massive amount of room, and you have to continuously scroll to find text and all that stuff. Now you might like this or might not like this, but let's just say someone sends you an image. Now because your device received that image, that's stored on your phone, but to look at that image or view it, you actually have to go to that message and scroll and find that image, right? But now all the images, all the videos, whenever someone shares something to you in a video or a photo format, will automatically be in your photos library with a small icon showing that this was shared, and you can actually open that image and go to the exact point that image was shared. So that's honestly a neat and not a neat trick, because maybe you don't want those pictures occupying your photo library, but at the same time this could be super easy because those photos are already on your phone, but it's harder to find. Now it's going to be just easier to find. Now something again on talks of messages is that, let's just say I send someone a link, or someone sends me a link, as we do, or we share stuff that, here, check this out and stuff, but I want to read that, but I don't want to read it right now. So now let's say it's a News Plus article. Now that thing, if I open the news app later on, it will remind me that, oh, this is something I have to watch or read, and I can do that. I can also pin conversations, so I'm going to get back to something later. It's just a bit more of cleaning up to the iMessage or the Messages app. Nothing major, but just clean up and just like making it look and work much smoother than we might have needed. I think it's a nice update on the Messages app. Nothing much, but something we will talk about. Messages will come back again, but right now let's talk about focus. Now we all know that when, let's say, you're busy or something, I personally do this when I don't want to be disturbed. I will put my phone into do not disturb. But right now I think there are only two modes right now. One is do not disturb, so you can put time intervals, 1 hour and all this stuff, and do not disturb while driving. Now these things will be there, but there's something now called focus assist or focus mode. With focus mode, you can actually put personal, home, and make different categories. In short, in those categories, it's going to filter out your notifications. Let's just say I'm at work and I activate the work focus mode. Now what's going to happen is I'm not going to receive any nonsense notification. I can set up what kind of notifications I want, what apps are for work, and even my home screen will change. So let's say I do press work, right? Now all I'm going to get the notification of stuff is going to be related to my work or the apps that I use for work. So of course you have to set this up, but once it's all set, and even the home screen will be work home screen. Sure, you have to set all this up, but once it's all done, I think it's a very neat, and it's going to help so many people who have hard time focusing or get distracted with the phone, maybe notifications. It's probably one of the best things. And then let's say you come back home, you can have personal, entertainment, you can make different custom ones as well, and in those cases that's when you can catch up on notifications. Now since we are on the track of notifications, many people said they're tiny, like very tiny, like Android, but I have not personally taken a look at them, so stay tuned for that, like a proper video on installing and using iOS 15. But notifications will also have less clutter now. So you know, before there was something called stack, and when you have multiple messages, it just stacks them together, but they're still annoying and they still fill up your screen. Now you can decide when you would like to watch or see those notifications. So you get notifications from messages and they will be right there, and instead of being stacked, they will be in front of you, so you can actually read the conversation, and it's not like press again, then press again, now you can see it. So that's there. But all the notifications, for example in my case, let's just say news notification or just normal Twitter notification, something that I would not like to catch up on the spot, my phone or your iPhone won't even show you those notifications, and you can actually decide when would you like to see it. Let's just say you want to catch up these notifications early morning, maybe at lunch or afternoon, and you can actually set those times, and at those times your phone will be like, here are the notifications you want to catch up on, and you can catch up on while still keeping all your important notifications on the spot. So they come, you get the notification. Now this could be a little annoying, but I'm not sure if there's a way around it. But when you do set up a focus mode, so let's say work, personal, something, it goes on all your devices, so iPad, Mac, and your phone. Now this could be amazing in many cases. Let's say you do want to work and you put it on work mode or work focus, and all you will see is work related stuff, nothing distracting. But sometimes maybe you do want it separate. but that's the thing, it will go on all your devices. And also something really cool is when you enable a do not disturb mode and you go on someone's message, for example, I'm going to go message someone and they have do not disturb on, the message app will tell me they have do not disturb on. So it's not like I'm just randomly messaging that person thinking that they will get my notification, maybe while they can be on do not disturb or have a focus assist mode on. So I think that's a very neat, sweet thing on iMessage and notifications linked together. So it will just tell you that the person you're messaging is on do not disturb. Next up, something that again ties up macOS, iPadOS, and even iOS is live text. You can take a picture or open your photo library and select text, copy that text and send it to anyone. Now if you want to search up a photo or you remember some text in a photo, the photos is linked up to Spotlight. So now you can actually just use a Spotlight search, put some keywords, and the photos algorithm or the live text algorithm will be able to read all the photos, find out key points, pets, cats, flowers, all this stuff, and present you with the image you're trying to find. Now again, of course, this is throughout the Mac, so you can have it on macOS. So Macs, select the text, send it to someone, iPad, and even of course the phone, Spotlight, and even the memories got an upgrade now. So memories uses Apple Music and matches with the beat and all this stuff. I'm not sure how many people use memories in the Photos app, but that got an update. It's like, it's not a major update to iOS in general, like it's a game changer or something like that, but there are minor details, minor tuning you have done, like Apple has done to different elements. So we've talked about messages, notifications, even photos and Spotlight, and now let's talk about Wallet. Now if you use Wallet, of course you might have heard that you can unlock your car, you will get the passkey on the phone, but now you can also upload your identity. If you don't want to carry some passports, driving license, all this stuff, you can actually just upload that onto the Wallet app and use that for verification. It's only available in some areas right now, so I think only US, but I'm hoping that sports expand soon. And with the sport expanding soon, let's talk about Apple Maps. If you use Apple Maps, I know there's a big thing on Apple versus Google Maps, which is better, but if you use Apple Maps, you got some nice fine tuning. It's way more detailed and it's just Apple Maps. Now it does have transit options now, and I would say you might be like, transit options are already there, but now let's just say you pin a route, you make your route favorite, that you always like this route, you want to travel to that, and you have a stop, the phone will let you know that your stop is coming to get out. And especially when, let's just say you get out of a station, you might be lost in direction or which side is where I'm supposed to go. Now you can use AR on your phone, the LiDAR AR, even if you don't have LiDAR, it will still work to get the direction. Just like how Google Maps has that, now you can actually do that on Apple Maps, and honestly, I think it's pretty cool. Now, last thing on iOS 15 that you will get to see is a redesign. Not a redesign, a very well needed update to the Weathers app. Now, Weather app we all use, maybe use the secondary app, but I personally use the Weather app, and it's great. It tells you the weather and all this stuff, but I think it was really designed, like it was not refreshed after iOS 7 and 8, not a big refresh. So now there are many animations and it just looks really cool. I have not used it personally, but from Twitter and from seeing people who use it, it just looks really cool. So definitely, once you get iOS 15, try that out, or you can actually wait for my iOS 15 hands-on video, which will be very soon. Apart from all that, that's all with iOS 15, and let's talk about AirPods. Now, something that I always had this is that, let's just say I'm wearing AirPods, and okay, I'm wearing AirPods, I'm doing my thing, and I accidentally leave them and I just go away. Now, you can actually set up this thing called Alert Me. So if you leave your AirPod behind, your phone will send you a notification. Let's just say this AirPod right now gets lost or something like that and I cannot find it. Maybe it's a grass field and I just drop it somewhere, I cannot find it. Now I can use my phone, depending on which phone you have, it will still work. But if you have the newer ones with the U1 chip, so any iPhone 11 or 12, you can use the same way AirTags work, and with the U1 chip, the ultra wide awareness chip, you can actually go and find your AirPod and it will give you the precise location that you found it. Other than that, with AirPods you get spatial audio for your Mac and Apple TV. So right now, if you were not sure, the spatial audio only worked with the iPhone, but now you can also get that on your Mac and TV. And lastly, some accessibility stuff such as voice enhancing. So let's just say you have some hearing problem or it's hard to understand, you can actually use them to enhance what the microphones are picking up. So it's a bit easier for you to understand what someone is saying. Lastly, I'm not sure how many people use this, but this is my personal, and that's Announce with Siri. So if you know you're wearing AirPods and someone sends you a message or calls you, Siri will tell you the message or who is calling you. But it was only restricted to the message and call. But now it's I would say spread out to the whole notification list. So let's just say I'm wearing AirPods and I get a notification from Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, any other app. I can imagine I get a notification from Siri. If you enable it, of course, will let you know that this is the notification and that's what it's about. Now it's up to you if you want to take your phone out now, later, and all this stuff, but it will just notify you. But it's pretty cool if you ask me. I'm pretty excited for that. And of course the separation thing, that if I leave them behind, I know that it will notify me that I left an AirPod behind. But that's all with AirPods. Now it's a good time to talk about iPad. Now I know many people, I'm not even joking, many people are disappointed because they were expecting some major changes since Apple brought M1 to the iPad series. But honestly, everything I said with iOS, of course, is jumped straight into iPadOS. But now with iPadOS, you get to upgrade to widgets. So instead of just being able to place widgets on your left side of the screen, you can place them wherever you want. We have some neat Apple Pencil updates. So if you're not sure right now, you can use the Apple Pencil and go from the bottom left to take a screenshot. But now you can go from the right and do Quick Note. Now with Quick Notes, you can actually have links and all this stuff. So let's just say I'm in a news app and I remember something, I'm writing this, or maybe that what I'm writing is linked to the news. Later on, I can bring up the Quick Notes and I can go right back to that exact moment where I wrote that. Just makes it easier. Now, as someone who uses iPad more as a notebook or as personal as in student wise, like for notes and all this stuff, it's amazing. Quick Note, I love that feature. I know many people are not a big fan of it because many people don't use it in that sense of taking notes. But I personally think everyone who takes notes on iPad or needs to quickly use Apple Pencil to jot down something, you will love the Quick Note. And I'm personally waiting. Like I forgot the word, but basically I'm so excited. I want to actually try it out and see how well it works. Now the Quick Notes are actually accessible throughout the iPadOS, so you don't have to be like, oh, I'm in the Notes app. You can be anywhere and just use Apple Pencil to bring the Quick Notes. The Note app itself got an upgrade as well. Now you can actually mention people, and let's just say I want to collaborate a note with someone, I can just mention. Now there's an activity tab, so if multiple people are working on a note, I can see what everyone did, when what change was made, and all that stuff. And of course, the Notes app, the Quick Note specifically, is also on macOS, so it's again synced up perfectly fine. Now taking a step back to apps and widgets, so we got to see app library, app drawer where all your apps are on iOS 14 this year, and now you can get to see that same thing with iPad as well. So iPadOS 15. 15, you have an app library icon and you can press that on the dock to open the app library, or you can go to the furthest rightest, like the way you open it on your phone, swipe, and the app library will come up with all the apps. Translation, just like Quick Note, now you can translate anywhere and all that stuff. So like translation app and all the translator app and all that stuff is now available and works throughout the iPad, so you don't have to open a specific app, it will just work. You can select something and click on translate. Now towards the last few things of iPadOS, we have some neat multitasking options. So right now you can multitask on iPad. You can have two different apps. In a way, you can have three different apps and also sort of video running and FaceTime all at the same time on the iPad. Now it's not the most convenient to do, and it's like you need to know all the ways around to set it up. But now Apple made it a bit easier where you can easily do it, and it just, I would say multitasking got a nice tweak to it, and it's much more smoother now. So if you are someone who uses multitasking on the iPad, especially like me, I think you guys will love this upgrade because it's just like small changes, but they're like, okay, these are good changes and just smooths out the experience of using multitasking on iPad. And lastly, if you're someone who uses keyboard with the iPad, you get access to way more shortcuts. And now something that I want to talk about, which is in a way outside iPadOS, mainly for developers, but still within iPadOS, not many consumers might enjoy it, is ability to make iPad apps in Playground on an iPad and run it as well.
Let's talk about Mac OS.
I honestly missed how Craig pronounced it, but this year macOS is called Mac OS
of Monterey.
Monterey, something like that. Pretty neat, and nothing big, nothing major, except one thing which we'll talk about, but some minor changes, as I said, from iOS, iPadOS, all that stuff is of course coming to macOS, even shortcuts. So if you're someone who uses shortcut app on your phone, now you can actually use that on your Mac as well, make whatever shortcuts you want. In a way, I would say shortcut is actually replacing Automator. Automator is not going away right now, but it's eventually just going to go away, and we're going to be left with shortcut. But now on the basis of continuity, we have something called universal control, probably hands on the best thing, the most should have been the featured thing of macOS, and that is now you can just take your iPad, put it right next to your Mac without connecting anything, without nothing, like no specific connection. You can use your mouse or keyboard of a Mac on your iPad. And the way it works is you take your mouse and you go on the side of the screen. You will see the mouse trying to jump to the iPad, and you just move the mouse and the mouse is on your iPad, and now you can actually use your mouse and keyboard wirelessly on your iPad screen. Not even that, you can put another Mac right beside your Mac and you can, it just worked, but you can actually take a picture from your iPad, drop it, drag across another Mac to another Mac and drop it directly into a timeline, in this case the iMovie, and it will just work. And this is such an amazing feature. It's like Craig is like, okay, we have universal what is it called, universal control, and let me just give you a demo. And no one is expecting this. He just puts the iPad right next to the Mac, mouse, drag. I'm like, that's insane, and that's so good. Now this of course is just like Sidecar, but in Sidecar you're extending a Mac display, but this time you don't even need to extend a Mac display. You can use your iPad, but it's like you have your iPad there, so reaching and doing all that stuff, you can just use your mouse, drag, drop, do all this stuff. Like, it's amazing, it's genius. Honestly, I remember when I saw this, I'm like, how, wow, how, why, all this stuff. And I went on Twitter and same thing. I'm like, yep, it's a pretty neat feature. So I would say for me, that's like the highlight of macOS. Now, but we do have something else, and that's Safari. Safari, I would say, got a lot of changes, like major redesign. We already had a major redesign with macOS, but I think this is cleaning Safari, and we'll go why with privacy. But Safari got some really nice cleaning from tabs, tab grips, and all that stuff. But something you should know is that not just Mac Safari, your iPad Safari and even phone Safari got a complete redesign. And if you're someone who's not super easy to get used to, like it takes you a while to get used to an app, it might take a while to get used to the new Safari on the phone because of the small screen, but in general it's amazing. I use Safari all the time, and I think it's a really neat update to the Safari. Now let's jump back and go in this channel of how Craig did it, like amazing, of privacy. And we have a lot of privacy stuff, how your mail cannot be tracked. Usually what companies would do is, see, the thing is, Apple explained privacy and how they're controlling it in so well that I better make a dedicated video to that, which I will. But for now, if you're actually interested in what's going on with privacy in Apple, I'm going to leave a link, first link in the description below, to a clip from the WWDC event. So I'm going to make a clip out of that and just watch that. It's like going to be a minute and we'll explain everything so nicely. But in short, it's going to be super hard for an app, website, background stuff to track your IP and all this stuff. If you're someone who uses Safari, my favorite feature is that I can go on an account, like I'm going to make an account, I can just use a Safari suggested password, but I still have to use my email, right? So now you don't even have to do that. You can use a fake email that's Safari or is generated by iCloud. So I can go create an account with a fake email, just like hide my email, but now I can make a random email. So it's like still, in a way it's linked to me, but none of that information is going to the third party and no one is sharing it. Something really cool is that, let's just say, now you get reports with who's accessing your information, and even to the point where, let's just say I let an app access my information, that report is also going to indicate who that app, who that company is sharing that information with. Now I don't want to really confuse everyone with this, so I'm going to make a dedicated video about that in just a bit, so stay tuned for that. But in short, privacy was a big thing with this whole WWDC event, and I think it's really neat. It's a really good step towards privacy, and honestly every company should adapt that at this point. But one last thing I would say with me is that I use a mail app, and now you can actually say to hide or not send when you read an email. You might know that you might receive an email, and the person who sent it, they can use tracking to know when you open an email, what you click, when you're viewing it, all this stuff. Did you trash the email? I personally know how that works, and sort of is annoying when you want to like maybe reply to someone later on. So with this, you can just straight away put a line that this information is not going to them. They will not have your IP. They cannot create your online profile. If I confused you with all this stuff, I'm sorry, but I'm going to stop right now with privacy. We will talk about that later. But other than that, that was mainly with macOS. And lastly, we have three main things left, and that's WatchOS. So WatchOS, of course, just get normal updates, but this time a lot of focus was on just redefining what WatchOS is, how the iOS got tweaks, WatchOS got tweaks, the keyboard, the way you type and all this stuff got some tweaks, so it's much easier now. There's a big focus on health and how your phone will let you know that your posture of walking and all this stuff is not right, or something regarding steadiness of your walk and all that stuff. Something you can actually do now is create health profiles. So you can actually, for example, in a family, you can share your health data, or you can let someone in your family, so let's say there's someone elderly, you can actually want to share your information with a other family member, like heart rate, what's happening, if they're all good, all this stuff. You can share that, and it's all privately done, so it's nothing like leaking out or no one else is having access to that information, even Apple. So that's that on health. There was a big talk on health, so again, to explain that, I will leave another link just for health, talking about it. Another thing with WatchOS 8 is the Breathe app. There's a mindfulness app which does reflections and just do different animations for breathing. Now let's talk about HomeOS. There's not much to it. Again, as I said, Apple TV comes in HomeOS, so sharing, such as sharing your FaceTime call, video, all this stuff to Apple TV, all that stuff comes up. There's something called Matter, which is another company, so that's bringing Siri to third-party apps or third-party software hardware, so like thermostats, you can have Siri in them. And apart from that, now you can actually use your Apple HomePod Mini with your Apple TV, so as the actual speaker. And honestly, that's basically it for home. There was not too much, but again, if you're interested, I will have some more details in the description. Just don't want to clutter this video with too much detail. An update to iCloud that honestly I don't think anyone saw coming is iCloud Plus. It's a service how you can do private replies, hide my email, HomeKit, secure videos, and all this stuff. But also there's something called legacy program, digital legacy program, and that's, let's just say someone passes on and you want your iCloud information, everything on iCloud to pass down to someone else. So you can actually add contacts, emergency contacts, recovery contacts. Let's say you lose access to your phone and you want to sign into iCloud, you can actually add someone else's recovery, so the 3 or 6 digit pin that Apple sends will go to them that way. So that's all with iCloud, iCloud Plus. They didn't release prices or anything, so that's coming later on this fall or this year, so again, stay tuned for that video. But lastly, let's talk about Siri. Now Siri will work offline and it's much faster. So of course Siri will need internet if you want to do something like Google or find me the nearest restaurant, all this stuff. Now there's on-device speech recognition. So let's just say you want to ask Siri something. Before, what would happen is Siri will take your voice, send it to Apple servers, all encrypted, get it, convert it, translate it, and get the information, get that back to you. Now Siri can do that just being on your phone. So that way your voice does not leave your phone. The only thing that will leave your phone is if it needs to search something up. Now you can be like, change the setting, turn this, turn that off, and do that, set a timer. All this stuff will be way faster and will just be on Siri on your phone and won't be leaving your phone basically. So Siri in that sense got a really nice update. And I think it's good to end this video off on developer technologies and something called object capture. So making 3D objects is much easier now. This is update to Swift, and also now as a developer you can actually do custom pages for an app. And lastly, there's going to be something called Xcode Cloud, which is not released yet, but it's just going to bring building, testing, and development, just automating a lot of that stuff that developers to do on their device all over on cloud. Working with multiple people, it's just going to become easier. Again, we don't have much details, it will be coming later on, so stay tuned for that. And I guess the last thing on developer technologies is test flight for Mac. Right now, as a developer, when someone makes an app, it's super easy to test the app on your phone, watch, or even the iPad, and even Apple TV. But on the Mac, it's very hard, so now test flight is on that. But that basically wraps up the WWDC event of 2021, the developer conference. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm super sorry if it was too detailed, boring. I just wanted to cover as much detail as I possibly can. And again, there's some stuff I left, but whatever stuff I left, they will be in the description below with some short videos, short clips that you can quickly glance and get a better idea than me speaking. I hope you like this video. Stay tuned for a hands-on with iOS 14, iPadOS 15, and macOS. I will be making those videos very soon. Get subscribed if you're not already done so. Hope you like this video. Hit the like if you did. If you don't, press the dislike and also leave a comment. Let me know what you think, what I can improve on, and I will catch you guys later.